Good evening, good afternoon, and good morning. I'm Frozen Melon, and today we'll be continuing on with some
blade.
of the Hades.
Let me see into your past.
And let's see what we can upgrade. Did the Nemesis Blade, or do we just unlock
Grant me the
this?
aspect of Poseidon.
Your special dislodges those from foes, and I get more cast damage. Interesting. After 3 seconds special, after your special attack deals critical damage. Let's take
Nemesis.
that, why not? Do the Nemesis Blade.
Say, Skelly, how'd you get here anyway?
Just kind of zapped right in like Papa lets us do. Some of us sometimes. Why do you ask?
I meant, how did you get to the realm of the dead in the first place? Lord Hermes whisk you to the entryway? Thanatos scoop you up, Charon give you a lift? What?
Oh, well, that's a little personal, don't you think, boyo? I don't like to talk about it much. So, if I could have a little privacy...
Hiding everything. But yeah, I've been doing alright. Been chilling out. Though I did want to do some interesting stuff, but I guess we'll leave that for another day, because I need just to do random things first, more or less. We don't have a boon, let's take that.
Might help.
Let's try and upgrade as much of the things I want to. We are in heat level 2, 3, cool. That is not bad, let's jump in.
This ought to be interesting.
I hope so. I really do.
Lord Uncle Zeus.
Let's see what we get.
I wonder, nephew, whether you're prepared as yet to harness the surpassing power I shall grant you now. Don't take this blessing lightly, and may you use it well.
Attacks emit lightning. Or my special does. I'll take the attacks. Why not? Having my attacks emit lightning I'm always a big fan of. Can I fish already? I can fish. Never miss a fishing spot. At least we'll try not to. Yeah, I've gone back to the drawing board with the sort of like challenge runs at the moment. I am playing terribly, so we'll avoid them for now, and we'll just try and get our basics back down and see how we do from there.
No, you don't.
Because that's always been the bigger issue, is the fact that I tend to overcomplicate stuff, and you know, as I say, you don't see the woods through the trees. Is that the phrase? I don't know. I think it's the phrase.
That's mine.
Because I was suffering from that at work, which is kind of nice that I've got the time off coming up soon as well, to kind of,
Come on, let's fight.
you know, solve what I need to solve, and then come back and actually, like, you know, just have the time to relax and chill out. Where I'm not, like, beholden to being, oh, I gotta sort this out, you know. It's a really hard thing to get your head around sometimes. And, you know, we all do need to have that break from everything every now and again. It's kind of the reason why I took a day off from recording as well, is the fact that I just think, you know what, I just want some time to myself a little bit. No, I do enjoy the time. And a few usual other things that keep going on in my life, as they always do. You know, sometimes I wish my life was more exciting. Other times, yeah. You know, it is what it is as such. I don't know, sometimes I feel like, you know, you kind of wish that more stuff would happen, other times you just wish for absolute nothing, because it's easier to deal with, you know? I'm kind of in the boat of, like, sometimes I just wish more stuff would happen.
In the name of Hades.
Because it can kind of get a bit boring after a while. Cast bouncing around after I dash. Or special. I take the electric shot. Do we face the boss here? Yeah, let's go for it. I'm getting hit already. The problem is I tend to get greedy. Because I know I do.
So, Zag, you met my dad by now, your Uncle Zeus. He's cool and loves of feasting, just be sure to keep him in your thoughts, okay?
Special inflicts hangover. I would love to pick that up, my friend, but I prefer you on attack more than anything else. You take less damage while low health, or do we just take the poison aid? Take the damage resistance.
Cheers to that.
It's just generally good. I mean, I try and give them a go, like on the back screen. So we're trying with like trying to do some of the challenge runs, like on my consoles and stuff that I've got this game on as well, because I've already got save files that I can kind of use on there that I've got pretty far. Not as far as this one now, because like I think this is probably the furthest I've got with most stuff. Except I've kind of like completed some of the side stuff already.
Time to collect.
Because there is some of the side stuff I have not done on here yet, which is very frustrating. I'll do that.
Worth it. Where now?
We'll take the key. We'll run with the key. Why not? A free key. Why
So
not?
quiet.
I'm a bit annoyed now because I healed up. I didn't need to. And more keys, or no? I'll take the darkness this time. Take the darkness. But yeah, I kind of been realizing I need to take that little bit of a break, which will probably mean I can just chill out, play a few games. There are some games I want to go back and try and complete that are on my list of stuff, which is probably what I'll do with the time off. But again, meet some friends and have a bit of a catch up, give someone a good talking to as well. Yes, they are on my list, and if they are watching, you know why. Like, I'm just as bad as they are, but
That's what you get.
there are limits. You know, it's kind of a hard thing to realize sometimes, and there are always two sides to every story, but
Blasted
I don't know.
fools.
Sometimes, in my opinion, there's always lines I think someone should never cross, and they're not like horrible things, but still, it's kind
That
of...
toll.
I have returned. I got the message that you need assistance, Zagreus.
It's that kind of realization that, despite what you may think, you know, everyone's actions have consequences, and everyone's actions hurt people, regardless if it's intentional or not, right? And I'm a big believer in, like, if it's whether it's done intentionally or not is irrelevant. The fact that you're responsible for someone else's feelings getting hurt, you know, for good or bad, is not a fair place for someone to end up realizing that they've got no choice but to deal with you because, you know, like, what is their alternative?
To mix up my style.
Your thrust deals 200 damage with a 40% crit chance. Attacks restore health, I'll take that.
This should work.
It's clear. Go.
Let's go for the Bloodblade again. I always do like a good Bloodblade build. That way we can tank attacks and we can always just get more of them. But yeah, it's kind of hard to say because, like, you know, people can make mistakes, and whether they mean to or not, it's kind of
Palm power.
irrelevant when that outcome is what ends up happening because of it. Like, I've been in situations before, and even I've been the moron that's kind of caused that sort of problem before.
Don't spend it all in one place, mate.
That's actually pretty good. Or the dodge is going to be interesting. Take the key as well.
One for the stash. Time for Tisiphone, maybe? Guess I was wrong.
You? Huh. You really must like pain an awful lot, Red Blood. Or maybe it's just me.
Well,
See, Electo? Turns out we do have a common interest after all.
Did you just... Don't you ever compare yourself to me again, you trash. You want more pain? I'm happy to oblige.
I think that's the kind of the thing that's a little bit missing from Hades 2, if I was to nitpick over it.
Stay there.
But like, generally, if I want to nitpick over Hades 2, that's probably the only thing that I think is the difference, is that Hades 2 is a little bit more serious.
Really?
And it probably can, but I don't know, it loses that sense of humor that I kind of expected from Hades as such, you know? And I guess that's probably, you know, just the sense of fun that I find with this game is that undertone of flirtatiousness. Nah, but I was saying before that I've been in situations, both on the receiving end and the other side of it as well, on the cause of it, where whether it's through inaction or through action, you cause a problem. And
Which one?
let's go put the overflowing cup, because let's get that on there as well. We'll sacrifice some life because we'll gain that back. Chaos Gate would be interesting actually, but we'll leave that for now. I'll keep the damage resistance because that's still pretty good, because it helps the healing.
Check.
And I probably would say it on both sides of those as well. Like, having someone genuinely hurt you with their actions and not realise it is a horrible feeling, to realise that they didn't care enough to realise that you'd be hurt over it. And that can be a really difficult thing, especially in some relationships and stuff like that, to have that realisation that kind of like your partner that you spent all this time with, all this investment with, and everything else as well, did something that genuinely was not intending to hurt you, but didn't even bother thinking about the fact that their actions would hurt you. And at that point, it said if you ever been in those situations, regardless of gender or stuff like that, that relationship you had is dead in the water. There's no saving it. Unfortunately. Like someone say, oh yeah, no, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it, stuff like that, but generally at that point, your relationship doesn't really exist anymore, and it's something you got to get past. Both if you were the cause of it as well. But it has to be like genuinely hurt. Like, there's got to be lines to it.
Sometime you'll visit me like this, and Orpheus is gonna be here too.
He will be.
You got it.
Nice, the good one's got over
That's
that.
good. Thanks again.
Stay safe.
Now, being the person that's kind of done it, sometimes it's not the fact that you generally kind of meant to hurt the person in any way, shape or form, and sometimes it's more the little things than it is the big, like a big one, that you end up doing it, where it's just like you get too comfortable, which can be both a good and a bad thing. You know, it's never that easy, and it's never just like, it's never one-sided. Sometimes it can be. Majority of the time, though, it's not. There's always cause and effect, and not blaming yourself in some cases if you are the victim in those sorts of scenarios is a hard thing, but also accepting the fact that the person may have had causes
save you from the magma
to
fishes.
elude them to go that way is a hard thing to try and rationalize. Like, I mean, it happened to me, and like, you got to look back at the whole relationship and think yourself, it's like, was I as good as I could have been? And my answer is no. Then it's like, yes, they're still an a-hole for doing what they did, but at the same time, it's like, okay, I can kind of see that they should have dealt with the situation better, but things weren't as great as you think they are. And as I would say, that's what being adult sometimes is all about. You know, it's having that awareness of both yourself and the situations to be able to say, okay, you know, yes, what they did was wrong, but, you know, I ain't no saint either. You know, there are problems that I caused and issues that I had that obviously truly weren't resolved. It's a horrible thing to realise, trust me. Like, it's never an easy thing to think, like, you get hard done by and then trying to play the victim card. It's something that I had to deal with that as a trauma for quite some time. But then I've also been the person that's kind of hurt someone accidentally and, you know, without realising it, I either lost friends or lost potential relationships because of me being an idiot, pretty much.
Olympus, I accept this message.
Actually getting helpful notes can be really good. That means I want to keep going with them.
Moving on.
It's a really hard thing to kind of rationalise, and for guys it's probably the worst bit, because we tend to be very simple-minded and very narrow-minded as well in certain situations. And it doesn't help with this day and age with the way the world works, especially with relationships for guys and stuff, where if you're not one thing, you're another. Yeah? And it almost feels like, you know, there's kind of like a scale on which you're on when you're being compared, not with other guys, but just to like what the set standard is. And kind of what I talk about on that scale, it's that scale of, you know, like, if you've ever seen the show, I think it's How I Met Your Mother.
You've read already from my pub, haven't you, cuz? Wonderful guy. We don't get to spend a lot of time together, though. You know how that is. Well, see ya.
Yeah, just gaining, I'll take that. Just gaining gold constantly is pretty good. Yeah, we'll take I should take the gems, because we want to collect everything if we can do. Buy the shop out completely. So, yeah, they're I'll admit that there's the hot crazy scale, as they call it. Which, yeah, I can probably attest to that being a real thing in most cases. Or at least not in the way that they probably intended it, more as the fact that I find the more attractive sometimes someone might be to you, the more issues that tend to be around because of other reasons, you know. But that's just my own experience. Probably not the case for everyone.
Why, hello, Lenny. What have you been up to since I last destroyed your
But men
multitude
also
of
have one
beds?
as well. And what the equivalent for women would be is the hot creep scale. But it's kind of works a different way. Like, if you don't hit a certain threshold of hotness whenever you talk, and you're a creep. And there's this line where basically the hotter you are, the less of a creep you can ever be. Like, generally, I spent some time with our friends and we discussed this quite a lot, and so they were like, to be honest, yeah, that kind of is true. And I was just like, really? You guys are that shallow? I'm like, yeah. And I was just like, oh great, you know, that's just brilliant. You know, all my life I've just come off as a creep more than I ever. And then I saw like, oh no, you're just a really good friend. Nah, I joke about it. I mean, good friends are friends, right? But it is kind of something, and it's that point of like genuine attraction and like how much that person with that attraction get away with. It's almost similar to like love blindness, essentially. But you know, at that point, it's not really what women would call it. It's more like hot blindness. If you're really hot, they'll be blind to most of the things that you end up doing just because you are incredibly attractive. You know, and confidence can play a huge part in that as well. I mean, trust me, it's one of those things where everyone says, oh yeah, there's a time for everything as well. And all I can say for like most people out there, both men and women, I mean, if you want to be in a relationship or anything else as well, best thing you can do most of the time is just be happy in yourself first. And make sure you're okay with who you are before trying to kind of like go any further than that. Because like serious relationship stuff are kind of something where if you bring issues to the table, it can either make or break a relationship very quickly, and you may not know that until it's too late. Like, you could spend months, years into a relationship that will never function because of those sort of things to start with.
Extra gemstones. The Vanquisher's keep.
But, you know, it's because as human beings we're stubborn, you know? We're resistant to change, we don't like to make change, there's always other problems that we end up doing with stuff as well, and yeah. It's disappointing to realise it, but it's true. We're creatures of simplicity and we like things to be as easy as possible, so when we are kind of like having those sort of discussions and going through stuff like that, you'd rather take that easy, quick, and comfort more than, you know, have to put the effort in to do something more complex. I mean, my entire job is around me trying to be as lazy as possible to make stuff as easy and efficient as possible. Like, genuinely, like, even on my freelance work, my entire job's normally based around making stuff as efficient as possible and managing workload environments and people and all sorts of other stuff like that. Databases, all sorts of stuff. Because you'd be surprised how many people just aren't efficient, and in some cases they will make inefficiencies while trying to be efficient.
Gods grant me strength.
But you know, that's what people are like.
Sharpen my senses.
We can't get away from it, we never will. We'll do stupid stuff for stupid reasons. Trying to follow logic behind everything else is an absolute nightmare. But yeah, I bring it back up because, like, I'm back out in the dating world again. Because, you know, I feel like it's time to kind of do this sort of thing, start seeing people, meeting up. I'm a bit old-fashioned, even for my age as well, which... I don't know, I'm probably out of touch with most things, so... Hilariously enough, my interests, as well as, like, what I would enjoy doing on a date and stuff, tend to vibe better with people that are older than me. You know, I'm always a big fan of like the very first like coffee date to get to know someone, and then actually plan like a proper day out to, like, you know, do something interesting or fun, like a physical activity or something that you can actually start making more interesting things with. Don't know, just that first coffee date is somewhere that I can get to know someone, and then like after that I can spend time with them doing things, and whether it's like taking them out of their comfort zone or doing something exciting. I do enjoy doing that. I have an unwritten rule in my head as well, especially this thanks to like the modern era of like how dating and everything else wants to work, is the fact that I've been raised well in the sense that, you know, if I take someone on a date, I will always pay because I'm the one taking them on a date. It's just what I do. I've been raised by my parent, my mum, especially, to do that. You know, ingrained into me since I was young. But the caveat is to it is as well is, especially women, if you do not offer to split the bill or offer to pay, splitting the bill is the minimum, you aren't getting a second date from me. And some say, oh, that's pretty sexy. So, no, it's about offering. I don't care if anything else as well. Like, I will turn around and just pay it all or anything else as well. I'll even do it sneakily behind your back so no one actually knows that I did it. Because, again, family thing, that's kind of how my stepfather always used to pay bills, and we're all doing it. It's like a hidden tactic now at family events to who can go pay the bill first. But when it comes down to stuff like that, like, genuinely, it's the expectation of it. If you're expecting me to pay for a meal, there's going to be a lot of expectations you're going to have on me, which I either won't live up to, or I'll be annoyed by. Big sharp attacks deal damage to armor. Oh, that's pretty good.
Stygius grows strong.
Now I can just, like, stockpile gold. I'll take that. Oh, let's go down here.
Might as well.
It's one of those things where, especially for me, it probably seems a bit petty, you know?
Swift rays urge you on, I see, O son of Hades. Beware the narrow distance between hastiness and swiftness, a distinction I am not so sure the god of travel fully understands.
Snake toss from Rose deals more damage afterwards. Better boons for 3 encounters. I mean, to get that, the ambush, though. From behind. Yeah, we'll take it, because it might complete something. I don't really need him as far as things go, so I'll try and take the poison ability. Maybe I'll get something really good. Maybe get on the attack, that'd be nice. And yeah, like I've already had friends and stuff like argue the point of it's something I really should just like let go. But
More souls for Stygius.
it's a point now where it's been proven to me way too much that that's the correct course of action I should be taking. Than rather than the than I shouldn't. Which again is probably me being slightly petty. But essentially, like, for me as a bloke, like, if someone doesn't offer to split the bill or stuff like that, or has the expectation that I'm going to handle it, that sets a dangerous precedent in, like, what other expectations are they going to have that I'm not going to know about, and that they won't communicate about with, right? Communication is very important to me, and I've seen many relationships fail because of the lack of communication, like petty arguments or things like that as well. Yeah, we'll take that. This shop is not something I need right now. Or is it? That's unalterable. Fine, we'll proceed. Unusual, I can't alter that. There must be something going on here. Nah, I thought there would be.
Oh, truly.
You cast, put chill. Yeah, I'll pick it up.
That boon got better, huh?
But yeah, so it is probably a minor thing, like to some people and stuff like that. But it's the thing that set a precedent for me now, to the point where it's actually a really good indicator for me to find out kind of like people's expectations and kind of what they want out of me as well. Like if someone wants to build a rapport with me or anything else, or kind of that, like, you know, respects me enough to turn around and offer to pay for half, right? That's kind of what it comes down to. Then, you know, either that's a relationship, or, you know, it basically means that, like, you know, they value my time enough to kind of do that. Or in some cases, they don't want to ever see me again, which is absolutely fine as well. But at least they're respectful enough to not make me pay for the whole thing. So I kind of have more respect for them, which to me is a bonus. Like, it's kind of weird. Like this is going to come off as a weird way of saying it, because I know the weirdness about it as well in my head, because I know nothing will happen. But the fact that they chose to think about that and offer to do that, to me, makes them more attractive. Like, genuinely, they are more attractive to me if they offer to split the bill than if they don't. And it's enough where for me, it's kind of that deal breaker. Yeah? Weird? I don't know. Maybe it is. But, I mean, there's probably loads of different rules. I mean, for both us women and men out there. I said there's probably a few sort of, that's what they used to call icks. I don't know if that's still a word anymore. I am not hip with the kids. Yeah, I got shown like that by my nieces at one point, the fact that I wasn't cool anymore, and they were like, yeah, it's like, that's not cool anymore. And I'm like, it was never cool when I was young either. It's like, what do you mean that's not cool? That was never cool. But yeah. But yeah.
All set.
So yeah, it's just one of those things where, like, we all have those subtle nuances, and most of them are deal breakers. I mean, there's probably plenty of weird ones out there as well as more sane ones.
I'll pay for that.
But you know what? I still think they're kind of important. It allows you to set those boundaries, to have, you know, not the ability to set like standards or anything else, but more just to feel that sort of comfort. So, like, you know, especially for anyone that has been hurt before, it's knowing the signs of why you got hurt more than anything else as well. Building trust is important. And I will admit that, like, building trust is really important in any relationship or stuff. And to me, there is a line that sometimes must never be crossed, and sometimes, you know, there are deal breakers as such when it comes to that. And I've had ones where, like, I really do question. I do question some people's intentions when they tell me stuff, you know? Like, I've had one date with one woman who decided the fact that she turned around and said that she's openly cheated on all of her boyfriends in the past. And I was like, congratulations. Yeah, you are not getting a hello or a thank you after me out of this. I might actually be losing this here. He just does way too much damage for me to heal up, and I can't actually attack him enough to get the health back I lose from every hit. But yeah, it is kind of man, I am really taking hits, aren't I? I know my logic can be flawed as much as anyone else, you know. But, you know, I've got rules because I feel like they help me to distinguish between things that will hurt me and things that won't. And that's what it comes down to. And I feel like, you know, it helps me make sense of those sort of things. Even if the logic might be a little bit skewed.
You're next, bull man.
But yeah, I'm no angel either. I've had my own issues and stuff, and, you know, and tendencies that probably come off as big red flags to some people. I've had people moan at me because I've had the, you know, I like enjoy playing games and stuff. Like, that's always been a big one that ends up being issues for some people. Like, how can you be such and such an old man and still play games and stuff? And, nowadays it's probably not much a big deal, but it was at one point back in the day. Between that and sort of my general attitude and sort of likes and dislikes, my bluntness for one, which runs my family. At least you beat them. At least you beat them.
That's all for today's show. My chaos boom switched to a new effect. You shades enjoy yourselves.
Like, I will not pretend I am an angel in any way, shape or form. I'll take that, try and get something back if we can. Yeah, I'll buy that. 10 life is still good.
Yes.
But yeah. I don't know, like, most things can be easy, most things can be difficult. There's a fine line between both, and I think you got to find that balance. For me, all that matters is, like, you know, that I'm happy with myself and what I've accomplished and what I did. Like, I don't care anything more than that. People either like me or they hate me, and at that point, that's their choice. Like, I'm not there to people please. I'm not there to try and change who I am to meet someone else's criteria, because that's not going to go very well, and I've learnt that from past experiences. You know, trial by fire and all that stuff. Does it mean that I'll make concessions? Of course I still will, you know, I'm not an idiot. But I won't just, like, there's got to be a fine balance, right? There's always a give and take, and I'm not going to be some person that sat there and just basically takes, and I won't give. It's got to be a happy medium. Or at least it's got to be respectful enough where we're both happy. It's one thing I've always, like, tried and said is, like, you got to find that right balance between the two. Otherwise, one person feels like they're out of touch compared to the other, you know? Like, someone feels that all they ever do is just give you time and they get nothing in return. Or someone feels like that they don't receive enough and hence why they don't give you any time back. And that's how you know if you're a person who likes to have things done for them or likes to do things for other people. Yeah?
How many now?
You know, if you're moaning about your partner and finding that, oh, they never spend time with me or stuff like that, one, you are clearly a person who likes to have their attention kind of taken up. You know, you like to receive more than you'll do something for someone else. So at that point, double check that you are doing enough in your own relationship first before you start moaning about it. you know, words of wisdom and advice. And if you're the one saying, well, I do so much, but I never seem to get anything back, maybe raise that query up.
Okay.
You know?
Back I go.
It's about the first instinct of the conversations. It's like, what are you actually moaning about to start with? Is it the fact that you do too much, get nothing in return, or is it the fact that you feel like they don't spend time with you? It seems like I'm moaning about the same thing, but I'm generally not, and then they are two different things. Because it is about the intent of that question. One is talking about themselves, while the other one is kind of talking about the other person. And that level of reflection is sometimes hard to understand. You'll find it all the time, like, there'll be people that are like, well, what can I do to better myself, to improve things around? And all I can say is, the fact that you're asking that question kind of shows there's nothing you really can do. Like, you're already self-reflecting, you're already trying to improve yourself. At that point, that's good enough. You know, there will be a person that will notice that about you and see that you are trying to better yourself for other people, but they'll like you for you anyway. You know? Other people that will notice that you do that, and they will try to take advantage of the fact that you basically have some insecurities, and that's the thing you gotta be careful of. Yeah?
Found it already.
That was quick. I'm happy about that. And increased hangover damage. It's small amounts of minutiae, but they're kind of important things to distinguish. We'll pick that up though.
The Guardian of Hell itself decides the time has come for a short break and snack.
You can always be getting lost in the minutiae, and I think sometimes, yeah, you gotta put yourself first, but in the right way. You know? Like, you gotta be in the right state to be able to be in the right state for other people, and that's kind of like the downfall of most people, and then that's when sort of like, you know, the negativity starts.
The heavens and the seas belong to my brothers, but know that you are still in my domain.
Very well. Because, you know, I've been guilty of it. And I never say that I won't be. Like, you know, there will be times where I don't have that level of self-reflection or awareness. And I'm going to come off like a petty child when I say stuff like that, because I will. You know, I'm only human.
Not good.
Does that mean I'm right in what I'm saying? Maybe, maybe not. You know, just because you can raise the fact and, you know, realise that you are being a hypocrite doesn't make you any better than actually being a hypocrite. It also probably makes you more obnoxious. And me saying that probably makes me even more obnoxious than that, you know? We go in circles on that one. But yeah, there are limits, right?
Awaken, wretches, and fight once more upon the surface realm where you were slain. Darkness.
Like, it's a hard thing to realise, and as I say, self-reflection can be both a difficult thing and an easy thing to do. It's just whether you have the awareness to be able to do that and realise it.
Darkness.
I'm at that stage where, like, I can recognise problems and I can put in fixes for those, but at the same time, I will forget they are problems and fall back into old habits kind of easily unless I keep that self-awareness up.
Darkness.
You know? It's an easy thing to forget. You know, I try my best. I know what means perfect.
I know where you are.
We'd like to do better sometimes, and you know, what's the discussion I normally end up having with people? It's always like going to a job interview. You know, you never really get an answer to why you were never hired, but you've got to infer it from whatever the feedback you get is. And there's signs. There's always signs, you know. You must infer the signs, read the language, everything else as well. And sometimes there just won't be any response, you know, to answer that question. Sometimes you don't need one. Like, that's the one thing you gotta remember, is like, that's why I say, it's like, you gotta be okay in yourself first. I'm having a really bad time with this. You know, it all comes from enjoying your own company first. And trust me, I know what I sound like. I don't know how the rest of you will tolerate watching these videos. Because I'm annoying as hell.
I shall not fall to you again. No more.
But yeah, I'm always a critical thinker. I always think about way too much, like all the time. I overanalyze things even at the basic levels. Because it's just the way that I have been programmed at this point. Through both school, education, and me being an idiot. You know? Will I ever get better at it in the future? Probably. It'll probably take someone, though, to improve me. Or at least want to spend the time to improve me.
Something for you.
You know, all good things get better with age, right?
Not again. Wide open.
Ooh, that was a lot of damage I shouldn't have taken. Will I get lucky? Ah, I should have got Panda quick enough. I didn't. Too bad. Bit of a weird run, that. Try to go a bit more like lifesteal tanky, but I guess I didn't have enough health.
How am I going to beat him?
Who knows? Let's do the usual talk around then.
Hypnos, this list has a bunch of tasks from I don't know how long ago. I mean, I took several of these last year, and you've already submitted this week's registrations. Why isn't that marked complete?
Don't you know it? I was just about to get to that. Then you showed up and I got so distracted it just kind of slipped my mind. It happens, right?
You need to focus, brother, or it'll be Lord Hades reprimanding you again. And that is not something you want.
Oh, I don't know about that. Last time I talked to Master, he made pretty clear he never wanted to speak to me again.
Oof, sorry, Hypnos.
Nyx has a very steady presence, doesn't she? I want to say she hasn't changed a bit since before you were born, but I know that she's been through a lot.
She's always managed, and quite gracefully at that. Never seen her break a sweat over anything, even when I confronted her about you. Though you two seem closer than I realized, I think.
Well, your father isn't always the conversationalist, and Nyx, she was the first chthonic god I ever met. I suppose she welcomed having another lady about the house.
I'm sure she did.
In my recent audience with Nyx, lad, she let on that you have mentioned chaos as of late. Is it true you've met her parent yourself?
But it
I
is.
have. Chaos is not like anyone I've ever met. At first I was a little worried meeting this vast primordial entity apparently responsible for all creation, but they seem alright. Chaos and Nyx haven't been talking for a while, though. You don't know what happened there, do you?
I know a little bit, I think. Nyx, she and Chaos, they just slowly drifted apart. No animosity, not anymore at least. It happens between parents and children. And once such ties are severed, they cannot always be restored. Especially among primordial gods as old as time, I suppose.
They drifted apart.
For gods that live for eternity, that's something that will always happen.
Hey Orpheus, I figure that you've heard by now about how I bested the Minotaur Asterius alongside Theseus, the champion of Elysium himself. I don't think I even broke a sweat.
I scarce can possibly imagine such a spectacle, my friend. But certainly I shall attempt to try.
Did he make fun of me just now?
I think he did.
I hate to be a bother, but I wanted to ask you about Chaos once again. Won't you at least try to reach out to them?
It is for Chaos to reach out to me if they wish to reacquaint themselves with me. Child, it would please me if we spoke no more of this for now.
I see. I'm sorry to have troubled you.
Oh, come on. It's the pettiness of it all, stuff like that. So true.
Do what you will with these, my good chef.
Everyone feels hard done by, so they feel like, you know, the other person should always reach out. But if you're going to be the first one to repair relationships and stuff like that, be the first to reach out. Make the attempt. At least then you aren't the a-hole, you know? Because until you do that, you're both as bad as each other. Take the more high ground, even for selfish reasons. Yeah. True words are never spoken, right?
You know, pal, when you're not around and it's just me and all your weapons, I mean your infernal arms right over there, between us, they are making me a bit uncomfortable.
Can't blame you, mate. I wouldn't want to be stuck in a chamber with a bunch of legendary, quite possibly malevolent killing artifacts. Anything I can do?
Oh, I didn't mean it like a bad thing, boyo. The weirder you make those things, the more it gives me the shakes and keeps me hopping like this nice and steady till the next time you get back. So thanks.
Sure.
Yeah, but yes, but yes.
Another day in Tartarus. Or night. I have no idea.
But yeah, I guess we'll leave it for this one here. There's a lot going on in my life at the moment. And hopefully some time out will actually be helpful from work or so. But again, if you do enjoy these videos, do leave a like, subscribe to see more. And I'll see you all in the next one. Take care.